Welcome back, everyone. Wasn't sure if I was going to film too much of this, but I actually got a few requests. Hang on, let's turn that fan off. To get a little footage of the wet sanding and buffing process. Since last video, where we sprayed the hull, I have hit the whole thing over with some 400 grit to knock the majority of the orange peel off of the boat. And if you're looking, if you can see now, I've dusted it very finely. I don't know if this is showing up, but with a really fine mist of flat gray primer, just this regular rattle can spray primer, just to kind of use as a guide coat. So this is where we are now after the 400 grit. Still get tiniest little bits of orange peel, and then today I started jumping to the 600. All right, wipe that off and it's pretty much gone. Then we'll continue working the whole boat. Start with the 600. I don't have a lot of time this afternoon. I at least wanted to come out while we had a little light. It's been gloomy and cool and January Florida blah weather. So anyways, the plan when I do get some free times to go over the rest of this old gal with some 600. There are a couple little spots that are kind of bugging me. I don't know if it's picking it up, but a couple little dimples and things. So I may just patch those again before it gets too late. But yeah, coming along pretty well. So if anybody wants to watch some time lapse of a sander going back and forth, stay tuned. All right, so just take a second here to show you what I'm actually doing with this guide coat. It's basically just a very fine mist of spray paint just to show where I haven't sanded, where I've started the sand, and you can see where I need to go a little bit farther. And then once that's all sanded off, it goes to just white. So that is where you stop sanding, because anything beyond that, you're just removing material and thinning out your gel coat that you just spent a bunch of time and money spraying on. So the primer works pretty good. I do have some of that 3M guide coat showing up today. It's a graphite powder type thing. I'll show you guys that when I get to the finer grits. It doesn't clog up the paper as much as the primer will, but it's cheaper and kind of give you can already see starting to get a little bit of a shine for the difference between the the 600 and the 400. So keep at this today when I get some time in between things with the real job, and then off to 800 and 1,000 and buffing and polishing. So here we go. All right, and that's pretty much the process. You just take your time, let the paper do the work, and then you keep going all the way up and all the way back, and then switch to the next grit, do it all over again. All right, 600 is done. Definitely cheating a little bit here because I took a wet towel and wiped all the dust off of it, but it looks good. So this, you gotta keep yourself motivated when you can. So it's been many hours of standing there watching primer disappear. I did mention a little earlier in the video I had a couple blemishes and things. This is what I'm talking about. You can actually see them now. A couple little dings still. One nice one right there on the keel. Have to decide how much. I mean, I'll probably fill those. Those are a couple easy ones. You know, that low-hanging fruit at this point. Just scuff right around the area, put a little smear of Gelcoat filler in there, and start again with the 220, 400, 600, and now that I'm to the 800 grit stage, I got me some dried guide coat. It's a graphite powder. Is it graphite? What is this stuff? It's limestone and activated carbon. So they take two of the most abundant elements in the world, and they put it into a powder and charge you $50 for it. But hey, God bless them. So I'm gonna smear that on once that's once I'm ready to go to the next stage, and scratch it all up again, go again. So stay tuned. And this is what we are left with after the first quick pass. So you can see it's definitely shiny to the naked eye. You wouldn't really be able to tell. You can't even feel these. But these are all spots that still need to be sanded before that is perfectly flat down to 800 grits. But for now, we're just going to get back to sanding and get all this knocked off and move to the next section and the next and the next and the next and all the way back. All right, there we go. First section done. Looks pretty dang smooth to me. You can see I left a little bit of the powder on there so I can tell kind of where I stopped and where I'll need to start the next section. Because if not, it gets to the point where this gets so, you know, it all pretty much looks the same once you get to these real high grits. So I'll keep going. You can see there's a couple little tiny pinholes. I mean, honestly, it's the bottom of the boat. I'm not gonna fill every little imperfection. But overall, I think it's gonna look a hell of a lot better than that nasty bottom paint. So put the phone down. Be honest, I'm kind of selfish. I like to throw my headphones back on and jam on some music while I'm doing this, because the sound of that drill, or not the drill, the sander gets pretty monotonous after an hour or so. So check back in when we get a little farther along. 800 is done. It's looking pretty damn good. Only problem now is every tiny little spot. Like that. You see that? That is driving me crazy. It's these tiniest little pinholes. But when this thing is so glossy and so smooth, everything just sticks out like a sore thumb. So this is the dilemma you start to get into. When you get this close, you're thinking, okay, it's the bottom of the boat. Do I really want to spend like literally days more on this? Or do I want to, flip the boat back over and, start doing real work? So I don't know. I'll have that dilemma over a icy cold beverage probably, and go from there. But this is 800. Let's keep going. Yeah, don't freak out, but I just scratched the boat with some 80 grit. I know, all the way down to 800, and I'm like, I gotta take care of these little issues. So you got 2 little low spots there, a little bit right along the keel, and then these, this one probably would sand out. I'm sure both of these would sand out, but I don't want to leave the gel coat that thin, so if I'm going to patch it, I'm going to patch it. And we got one little nick on the keel there, and then actually one little spot, and I really aggravated it here, but I kind of burned the gel coat pretty thin right there, so I went ahead and scratched that down, and I'm using one of these little guys. Had one laying around, probably, what do I got, 2.5, 3 ounces of gel coat, about 2.5 ounces of the Durtech, little splash of wax. Shake it up, it sprays like a rattle can. One time they're about $10. They work pretty well, and you throw them away when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these little spots up, and then we can let that cure and sand those little areas down and continue on. All right, I got a couple ounces of this left, so just give you a little idea of how it actually sprays out. I'm sure you guys can see that. It's very, let's see, it gets a little clogged, but gel coat's pretty thick, but comes out pretty slow. But if you're just patching up a little spot, you can keep working it. Be patient, let it build up a little bit until it's nice and covered. Of course, go as thick as you need, but lays out all right for a $10 spray gun. So the little spots we did, and all there is to do now is just let them cure off and get back up there and start again with the 400, 6, 8, and 10. All right, paper's off. Here's a quick view of the patch right after you spray it. So definitely not going to get anything near that smooth trying to roll it on or do it with a brush. So good little tool for 10 bucks. Use them and throw them away. That makes little patches like this a breeze. So they are all sprayed, paper's off, and all we got to do now is just get out of the way and let it do its thing for an hour or so. Alright, so Gelcoat patches have cured. You can see I actually knocked them with some, or marked them with some tape, because it's a little bit of 400 little spritz and a little wipe, and I really can't see where the patches were. So good. So we'll work the numbers through here. This one I haven't hit yet. You can see it cured off pretty smooth, and get it knocked down to 800, and then continue on the whole thing with 1,000 grit. Well, checking in, it is Sunday afternoon. Realized that I haven't filmed anything as of yet today, but it's a lot of the same. I did hand sand out all those patches that I did down to about 800 grit. You can see where I hit them with the guide coat, and they really stick out, but that's good. And I am 25% of the way done with the 1,000 grit. So that is coming out pretty nice so far. These, God, it's amazing. These little scratches, I mean, these, you can't feel this. This stuff, like this guide coat is amazing. It really gets down in those tiniest of little grooves. So anyways, that's what we've been up to today. And we're going to continue. We got 3/4 of the boat left. And then wipe it all down, clean it up real good, and break out the buffer. So that'll be next. Whew. All right. We are done sanding. This is the result of 1,000 grit. And then, of course, you know, wipe down. Sprayed it off with a hose to get most of the dust off of it, but it's coming out all right. Can't complain. So, next step, take a quick break, because I've been at this pretty much all day. So I'm gonna sit down for watch a few minutes of football, and then break out the buffer. All right, so real quick, got the buffer going using the Aquabuff 1000 and 2000 system. It's the same company that makes the Duratec. So this is the one side after hitting it with the 1000. I am not a detailer by trade, so I'll film a little of this, but don't expect you know, the greatest techniques or whatever. But hey, it's working, and like I've been saying, it's the bottom of the boat, so get at it. All right, and that's what we're left with. Pretty easy to see where my line is there, where I stopped. So continue down the rest of it there, and then move to the 2000. All right, so this is the 2000. You can definitely see a very good shine on this, and then pretty clear line where I have and have not done. It also throws a lot of the compound, you know, on the spot. So Aquabuff 2000. Doing pretty good. I don't want to go much glossier than this because, I mean, it's just showing every little, you know, every little imperfection at this point. But so tell myself, stop it, finish it, flip it over. It's the bottom of the boat. Quit going for absolute perfection. You'll be here for the next 6 months. So I can't complain, really. I'm happy. So we'll finish this up, and then I'll come back with one final look over the whole thing once I wipe it down. She's done. The bottom is done. That was a hell of a lot of work, but I think it turned out pretty good. So there she is, ready to be flipped back over and get on to the next part. Some dust on there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I know it's probably run pretty long with all the stuff. I'm going to throw all the wet sanding, buffing, and I didn't show much of it, but had some Gelcoat sealant and polished it up this afternoon. So thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I do appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe. I'm actually getting some traction on the channel, and I'd love to grow it a little bit because I plan on making these videos all the way through the whole boat. So next one I'll make, I'm gonna roll the gantry back into place and hopefully get her turned back over, and I'll get some better footage of that. And yeah, thanks again. I will talk to you all soon.